What's shaking, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Shay, and we are going to continue the amazing Readathon. So, full transparency here, I shot this footage and then it got corrupted, and so I'm coming back to you from way into the future to do this intro. But I'm going to try to do it to the best of my ability. So, prior to me doing this intro, I had already read some books, and the reason for that is just that I didn't have anything to say about the specific books we were reading. So the prompt dropped, and it was to read a comfort read. That was the first prompt of the week, and I of course read Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban for this. So again, I had nothing much to say. We all know about Harry Potter, we all know all of the things, so I didn't have much to say about this particular book, and I finished it relatively quickly, and I went ahead and moved on to a sightseeing prompt. I can't remember which prompt it was, but I then read Heartless by Elsie Silver because I am trying to continue on with series. I'm trying to do my thing. So I did that, and I gave it 3 stars. So this is the second book in the Chestnut Spring series, and I had an okay time with book 1. I liked this book less than book 1. My reasonings for this are multifaceted. So this book is following this grumpy cowboy, and what we are left with is that nobody's ever going to want to be with this grumpy cowboy because they're not going to put up with this grumpy cowboy. So in these kinds of romances, like, I need there to be some anger, tension, like, I don't like you, he's so grumpy, I can't stand him kind of thing. Right? Because that's that's what you're setting up. You're setting up this very grumpy guy, and it's going to be this little girl falling in love with him, right? But he's going to be difficult to tap into because he's so grumpy. That's not what this is. They basically fall in love immediately, and all of a sudden, he's just a soft kitten for her. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. And I felt like our female main character acted a lot younger than she was portrayed to be. She is basically hired on as this babysitter nanny kind of for his child. So it's a single dad romance. But anyway, I just didn't gel with it as much as I did the first one. I gave it 3 stars. And then what happened was I had some time before the next prompt dropped. And I think I picked, y'all, like, my week has been crazy. So I picked a book out of my own jar because I was like, I don't know what to read. Like, give me some guidance. And it came out as The Collapsing Empire by John Scalzi. And this is where I am done with the intro portion of this video. Cue past me now. Okay, so I'm 50% into The Collapsing Empire by John Scalzi, and I am loving it. So we are following multiple different points of view, and in this galaxy system there are multiple inhabitable planets. Nobody can travel faster than the speed of light, but they have figured out that there is a flow, which is this basically system that they use to travel fast in between all the systems, all the planets, all the things. However, there has been intel that the flow is going to collapse, and basically that's going to leave multiple planets. They're going to die out, right? Because they can't trade, they can't do anything, food, all of the things. They cannot get the supplies that they need, and so this is obviously an issue, and we are following multiple character points of view. We are following the Emperor, who is the leader of everybody. Her father has just died and has, succession has fallen to her, and she is not wanting the job. So we are following her in that situation. We are following another person who is getting off of the end, which is like the end of the planets, the end of the inhabitable planets, and he knows that the flow is collapsing, and so he knows that he needs to get somewhere to let people know, and so he is hiding away in a ship to whisk away to tell people of the flow collapsing, because his dad is a scientist that figured this certain thing out. We are following another captain of a ship who's just this badass female. I don't know what necessarily is going on with her. She is money hungry, she is greedy, but it's all very interesting and interesting characters, and the way that he kind of makes you so interested in what is going on is just Duns Scorsese, man. He is such a good writer. He's doing what he is meant to do in life. This is a trilogy, so this is book 1, 50% in, enjoying my time. I will check in when I get done. Okay, so The Collapsing Empire was absolutely 100% 5 stars. I love John Scalzi. He's becoming one of my favorite authors, even though he has written some books that I don't necessarily love. This one was fantastic. I love the characters. The plot moved at a very good pace, and I just found myself really adoring this book, and it's a trilogy, so I can't wait to continue on. If I didn't have anything else going on, I thought about going ahead and picking up the second book, but alas, I cannot do that. So 5 stars, totally enjoyed it, and will be continuing on in that series. Now, the next prompt did drop. It was to read a book with the chilling winter scene on the cover or a chilling cover, so I will be reading Tunnel of Bones by V. Schwab. There's 2 covers to this. One of them is in a graveyard with some ghosts on the cover, and the other one literally has a tunnel of skeletons and skeleton heads. So I feel like that's chilling enough, and we're going to read that. And so I'm going to read that tonight and tomorrow morning. And then Friday, which is tomorrow at noon, Faceoff weekend starts. Now, in previous years, like last year, we just read as many books as we could, and we read whatever we wanted to. Okay, this year we have this fancy dancy board that we're moving around with different prompts, and there are different ways you can go on the board. Now, you have to read a book that's 50 pages or longer. So what I've done, I kept my jar from last time, and I have put in here novellas and short stories. A lot of Amazon originals are in this jar, the ones that count, the ones that are 50 pages or above. Okay, so I'm hoping to get a lot read for Faceoff. I'm super excited. Last year I had plans on the weekend that Faceoff was. This weekend I don't have any plans, so yay for me. So what I'm gonna do, because there's a board this year, is I'm going to pick a book out of this jar, or a novella, short story, whatever, out of this jar, and then we're going to roll the dice and see if I can land on one of these things that fits this specific prompt that I pull. I think that that will be a lot of fun to kind of maneuver around and see what's going to happen. So I'm going to be filming on my phone here as we do this, and I'm rolling tonight because I'll be working tomorrow, but I'll be commuting. So after lunch, I will be able to listen to these on audio, whatever I do get. And now that I have you in a good space, that you're not looking at me from the side, let's go ahead and pick one of these stories. Okay, I got this one. This is Buried Deep. Now, I'm gonna have to look this up because I don't exactly know what this is. Okay, so this is an Audible original by Margot Hunt, and it's actually on Kindle Unlimited. I've never read anything by Margot Hunt. It does not have the best reviews, but I was just checking the page count. It's 82 pages. All right, here we go. So, Buried Deep, I've got it pulled up, and by Margot Hunt, and I'm going to roll my dice and try to see if I can fit this on to something. Okay, we are on start, and let's go ahead and roll, which is a 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. An author you've read from before. I don't think I've read from Margot Hunt before. So what if we go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Person on the cover. I can't remember if that has a person on the cover. I don't think it does. Okay, so it does indeed have people on the cover. So let's see, what did I say we were gonna do? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So person on the cover, as you can see, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Person on the cover is what I chose to go with. So that's what where we are at, and we are going to read Buried Deep by Margot Hunt, and I will check in when I get done with that book and when I maybe get 50% into whatever I'm doing, into Tunnel of Bones. Okay, so it is Friday evening and twist. I don't know why people weren't screaming at me. I mean, maybe you were, saying that I had already read Tunnel of Bones, which I had, and I was actually on Bridge of Souls, which was fine. I read it. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was fine. I thought the overall trilogy was super cute and would recommend for a middle grade reader. I, thought that the little found family they had in there, the friendship bonds that they had in there were very, very cute and would recommend. Then I read or listened to Buried Deep by Margot Hunt, and I finished that as well. So I like to go into my things very aligned. Like, especially if it's a novella or a short story, I like to not know what's going on. Maybe I'll be shocked, maybe I won't. But this particular one is following a woman. We're getting from her perspective, and her husband's girlfriend from 25 years ago she went missing 25 years ago on a camping trip, and now her body has been found, and we're kind of getting the dynamics of this, and her husband, of course, is going to be accused of the murder. And this book annoyed me mostly because, number one, why would you care so much about a girlfriend your husband had from 25 years ago? Obviously, he's moved on in those 25 years, and he's built a life with you. They have a grown child together. Like, no. And her insecurities were just ridiculous, and overall there was nothing new to the story. I gave it 2 stars. It was entertaining, but I kept waiting for something new to happen, and it didn't. It just really, the main character was super annoying. So at this point, we are going to pick another Faceoff book, and I'm super excited. I have my jar here. I'm going to be more prepared than I was last time. I'm going to look at the cover to see. Okay. This is Temporal, and this is one of the newer ones I put in here. Let's look at the cover. Okay, this is a sci-fi. This is a little bit of a longer one, so it's going to take me a little bit of a while. I don't know what this one is about. It's a full cast science fiction drama for fans of time travel, conspiracy theories, and unexplained phenomena. So I'm just looking at the cover to see if I can fit it in to anything on here. Okay, here we go. We're gonna roll. 3. Okay, so I'm here. So let's see what I can get with 3. 1, 2, 3. I have not read from this author before. 1, 2, 3. This is going to be under, yes, so person on the cover, flip a coin, 2 and 3, under 300 pages. Okay, I got 3, and I realized that I have not been showing. So I was on person on the cover, and then 1, 2, and 3, under 300 pages. I think it's under 300 pages, and the audiobook's like 5 hours, so that's under 300 pages. And yes, this is what I'm going to be reading. It's a sci-fi. I've been having some luck with my sci-fis lately, as you have seen in this vlog, and so I cannot wait to dive into this one, and I'll chat probably since it's a longer one, probably when I get 50% in. I finished Temporal. It's now very late on Saturday night. I got very distracted, and I have not read very much today, so it looks like I'm not going to get much read for Faceoff, and that is a shame. But I have finished Temporal, and part of the reason why I didn't get enough read today is because I started reading other things because I could not barely get through this. So this is like a graphic audio, and I think that is what led to its detriment. I tend to actually like some graphic audios, but this one, when it's like sci-fi and it's confusing and you're trying to follow the different path and there's time travel and all of those things, there's too many confusing pathways that you really have to pay attention to kind of understand what's going on, to then put a graphic audio on top of it. So it definitely brought down the story, but the gist of this story is that 21 people left to Earth, supposedly temporarily, to, see about Mars and colonize Mars, and it was supposed to be temporary and they would come back to Earth and kind of, but right after they left for Mars, there was a vanishing on the Earth. Everybody disappeared, and they had to make and colonize Mars and make it their permanent home. So then we flash forward 1,000 years, and there's basically a lot of people on Mars, but they want to go back down to Earth, and so they have sent some people back down to figure out if Earth is inhabitable again. Why did these people vanish? What happened? And several of the different crew go to different timelines, and that's just about where it gets me. I got the gist of the story. I know what happened in the story, but it was convoluted and not my favorite. I gave it 2 stars. And if you look at the reviews on Goodreads, it's a 3.2 stars. That's very low. I agree with that. And most of it is not because of the content itself, but because of the audiographic nature of the audiobook. Okay, so I am going to pick another one. Hopefully I can get at least 2 more things read. I'd feel really bad if I only read 2 things. But let's get another thing read. Let me pull. Okay, I have my fingers on one. Okay. Oh, this is The Nest. I'm not as familiar with The Nest as... Okay, let me look it up. Let me get this cover in my head and how many pages it is and all of that so I can figure out where I can go. 244 pages, so short. Okay, so this is like maybe a middle grade horror or young adult horror. I'm down for it. Okay, I had to look at this. So The Nest will be my next read. Okay, here we go. 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1. I'm trying to see which pass I can go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's definitely not a TBR of it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. A book picked purely on vibes. That actually works because I added every single one of these books in this jar purely on vibes. So that's what we are going to go for. So we are going to go here. 1, 2, 3, 4. A book picked purely on vibes. Okay, so I am coming to you well after Face-Off weekend is completed, and I'm gonna sit here and try to explain these last remaining books that I have read in a short snippet as possible. So The Nest. This is kind of a middle grade horror that has some social commentary. It has some lessons that it's ready to tell. And overall, I enjoyed this one, not as much as I would have wished. It explores mental health. So we are following this boy who has a sibling that obviously is born with some kind of special needs issue. And he goes to sleep one night and dreams that this queen wasp has come to him and says that if he does X, Y, and Z, they are going to cure this baby and make this baby new again. And that's all I think you really need to know going into this novella. This explores mental health. This does a great commentary on special needs children and how that can affect other people in the family. I overall did appreciate the social commentary. I did appreciate that aspect of it. This is kind of, I don't know, it's for middle grade audiences, but I do think it's a little bit above what a middle grader could get out of this particular book. But I liked the topics. I just, again, horror is not really my specific vibe, and horror that has like specific messages sometimes is not my jam. But this one was fine and I gave it 3 stars. Okay, I am not where I can do my film setup and all that, so I'm gonna put this book up here. Hoping for some short ones. Oop, I don't know if y'all can see that. It's not focusing very well. This is Death Row. So hold please. Let me go look at the cover, see what it's about, and see if we can get a spot on the board. Okay, this is a short thing by Frida McFadden. So we're gonna 4. Okay. Let's see what we can get with 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. We can just do a title that makes you curious. Death Row, I'm curious. We can do that, and fantastic. And I'll pop in when I get done with Death Row.
So the next role, I got Death Row by Frida McFadden, and this is when things started to fall apart. My Kindle hated me. Everything just hated me, and it would not let me download this book. Like, it kept giving me errors. It kept getting me, sorry, cannot. And so I was forced to choose something else, and I didn't have like access to my filming setup to redraw and then all of that. So I chose to pick something that I was interested in, that I wanted to read, and that's when I picked up The Fall Risk by Abby Jimenez. I've definitely been curious about it because just to kind of see if her short stories made me like romantic short stories. I love her long form content. Wasn't sure about her short form content because generally I don't really jive with novellas. But I read The Fall Risk, and this follows, I thought it was super, super cute. I love Abby's writing. I think she does a fantastic phenomenal time. But this follows our two main characters who they wake up one day, and the latter, they're like living in apartments, and they are the only two apartments that are upstairs, and the steps that are connecting them to the bottom have been removed accidentally, and they come out and they're like, they don't have any way to get down, and so that kind of has them bonding over that, and then of course they fall in love. I thought it was cute. There are some heavier topics in here, like stalking, so if that's something that triggers you, definitely don't pick this one up, but I overall thought this one was super cute, and I gave it 4 stars.
Okay, for time purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and draw this way instead of I got my equipment, because this will be the 5th thing I'm reading for Faceoff weekend, and I want to get 5 things done, but we have like not that much time left to go. So let's look at what I'm going to pick. This is The Wedding Proposal. I don't know who this is by. Hold please, and I will come right back. Okay, I got it now. So we're gonna roll 6. That's a good number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can flip a coin and do between 2. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That doesn't kind of fit. I could go back to 300 pages. But what is the fun in that? Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's flip a coin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Under 300 pages, or let's flip a coin. I want to flip a coin, but the caveat to this is it has to be a book that is short, because again, my time is running out. So let's pick another one and see if we get another short one. Undercover. So hold please. I'm going to see exactly how long that one is. Okay, I have no idea what this even is, so we're going to draw again. What does that say? Remote control. So this is a longer one, so I'm going to draw again. I'm hoping for an Amazon short. Summer Frost. Okay. Summer Frost. Hold on. Okay, so this is a story by Blake Crouch, and I can't remember the author of this one. So this is going to be heads. This is going to be tails. Now, I don't necessarily have a coin right here with me, so what I'm going to do is if I roll a 1 to 3, that's a heads. If I roll a 4, 5, or 6, that's going to be a tails. Okay. Cheating just a little bit. Okay, so Summer Frost it is. That is what I will be reading, and I will check back when I get done.
So then I got, flip a coin between 2, which was The Wedding Proposal, and Summer Frost, I think, which was by Blake Crouch. And I don't know what I was thinking mentally that I could pick up Summer Frost by Blake Crouch, but in actuality, when this rolled around, it was very close to Face Off being done, and I knew that I was not going to complete Summer Frost by the time I looked at how long that little audiobook was. So instead, I know that I just kind of in my head, because I also could have done went to less than 300 pages. That's what I did in my head. And I wound up reading The Wedding Proposal, which I thought was just okay. So we're following two main characters. We have our female main character who basically gets dumped very shortly before her wedding, and she is devastated. And because she can't really cancel anything and get her money back, she decides to donate her wedding. So she goes off and she tries to figure out who can she donate her wedding to, until she meets somebody in a bar, and she happens to overhear that some things are happening with this guy's sister, and she says, hey, I have a wedding to give away and I want to give it to your sister. And that's how they kind of end up meeting and joining and kind of planning this wedding together, or revising this wedding for his sister. So that's how they meet. I thought it was very cute. Again though, with this romance, with these short romances, it just wasn't realistic. Here she is, she's in this great long-term relationship, she's about to get married, she gets dumped shortly before her wedding, and she moves on really quickly and is gonna have happily ever after. I don't buy that, but I do think it was overall a cute story, and I gave it 3 stars if that's something that you want to read about, if you like short romance novellas. With that being said, that's all we read for the week, and I had a fantastic time. I didn't read as much for Face Off weekend as I wanted to read, but I overall enjoyed my time and can't wait to dive into next week's reads. It'll be so much fun. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. What did you guys read for Face Off? If y'all participated, let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next one.